Hey guys, it's Stacia. Welcome back to my channel. When this is going up, I am in the middle of Majonathon, so I needed a quick sort of upload to do. So today we will be doing the Nope Trope Book Tag. This was originally created by Zoe's All Booked, so I will have her original video linked down below if you want to check it out, as well as the questions linked down below. This will be a really quick one. There's only 5 questions. The 6th question prompt is to tag people. The first one is eavesdropping with miscommunication. Name a book you heard great things about and expected to love but ended up hating. Okay, hating is like a very strong word, but this is one that I expected to love and then kind of just fell flat for me. I thought it was just fine, and for me that was The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. If you don't know what this is about, this is basically about a girl named Nora, and she has like a near-death experience, so she ends up in the Midnight Library, and in the Midnight Library there are tons and tons of books of basically her life. Like, had she made the smallest decision differently, this is where her life would have gone. So it's basically all of the paths that her life could have gone had she made like this decision differently or that decision differently. So this is basically what it follows. I expected to love it. Honestly, everyone raved about it. Everyone was absolutely loving it, couldn't put it down. I thought I would have loved it because the chapters are so short. I love the premise. It was taking place at a library. It set up to be a book that I was going to absolutely love. And then it ended up just not being that, if I'm being honest. This actually felt quite flat for me. I found it to be very boring, and it was also very repetitive, and I feel like that is where it got hard with this book. Because of the premise is she's basically exploring like different paths her life could have taken, it's very easy for this book to have gotten repetitive, and it got really repetitive for me, so it just didn't get the job done for me. But I mean, can't win them all. And then we're going to go to Love Triangles. Name a series where you can't pick your favorite book. I could have gone obvious and gone with the Caraval series, but we already know.
Like, we're like, Stacia, we know that you love those books.
So I went with a different but still very valid option, and I went with the Anna and the French Kiss trilogy. These are actually not a series, they're more companion novels, but they're all like the same basically. It's basically a series because they all, like, some of the characters go into the other character or into the other stories and stuff. So if you don't know, the first one is Anna and the French Kiss. It is about this girl named Anna, obviously. So she's just living her best life in the United States somewhere, I don't know where, sorry about it. And then her father actually sends her to Paris to finish off her high school year. She did not want to go to Paris. She had her life, she had her friends, she was settled, she knew what she was doing, but she goes anyways because her father forces her to go. So basically, this is a contemporary romance, so there's obviously going to be a romance, and yeah. And then the second one is about Lola and the boy next door. It's obviously about a girl named Lola and the boy next door. So this is basically about Lola and her next door neighbors from when she was a child. She was really close friends with them, and then they ended up moving away, but many years pass and this family ends up moving back. So there is new opportunities for Lola. There's friendships to explore, conversations to be had on why things happened the way it happened. That's this one. And then the last one is Isla and the Happily Ever After. Isla is, her romance is actually with someone from the first book, Anna, so that's why I like to read that. I recommend reading them in this order, from Anna to Lola to Isla, because like I said, there are crossovers and little snippets. It just adds like a little bit more excitement when you see the characters that you first met. But it's basically about this girl named Isla and her summer with the love interest. I will not say the love interest because I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, that's basically what this one is. But like I said, I cannot choose a favorite. I honestly love all of these so much. I read them all so quickly, and I just feel like they're all just great and fun reads. This is an older series, so I'm not sure if it's definitely like if it's underrated, but I've never seen much about it. But like I said, it is an older series. It came out about like 10 years ago, 2010, 2011. So yeah, but if you've never read them, I definitely recommend them. I love them and I can't choose a favorite. The next prompt is not like the other girls slash didn't know I'm beautiful. And that's name a book that has a pretty cover but was boring. I'm not sure how people feel about this one. It definitely has a pretty cover, but it definitely was not my favorite. And boring is definitely a word that I would use to classify it. And that was Circe by Madeline Miller. Obviously look at the cover, like it's gorgeous, so pretty. But I just did not vibe with this book. I found this book to be so boring. I thought it was just, like, it's not long, but it felt like it was going on forever. I didn't vibe with the characters. I didn't care what was going on. I was honestly, in simplest terms, I was so bored with this book. And that's just what it is. I have not read the Song of Achilles, and I don't think I'm going to. Greek mythology, I've noticed, is a hit or miss for me, and this was a definite miss. The next one is All-Consuming Love. Name a book that gave you a book hangover. For that one, I actually chose The One by John Mars. After I read this book, I needed to audiobook because I couldn't pick up another book. This book it's longer for a thriller, over 400 pages, but it's so fast-paced because the chapters are so short. And the chapters are so short because we're following quite a few people. I'm not sure how many, like I believe it's like 4 or 5 different stories, and it's basically because they all got affected by this one new like matchmaking type of thing. It's basically like a DNA test tells you who the one person you're meant to be with is, so it obviously affects people in different ways. So that's what this book is. It just follows a whole bunch of people and how it affects them. But it's I'm not sure if I would classify it as a thriller because like the last parts are definitely thrilling. But like the beginning part, a lot of people find boring because they're just trying to set everything up. But this one was so good. After I read this book, I literally read it in one sitting. And after I finished this book, like all I could think about was this book. I had no words and no brain capacity to pick up anything else. Like I needed to find audiobooks to get me through. But this one was so good. And then the last question is Douchebag Boyfriend. Name a book that took you a while to get into but ended up loving. And for that, I'm going to choose A Killer Harvest by Paul Cleave. It took me a while to get into this one because I wasn't sure really what was going on. I've never heard of this book before, never heard of this author. I picked it up for a readathon. Yeah, so I just picked it up because it was on my TBR forever. But in the end, I loved it. There is sort of like a science-y sort of element with this book, and I didn't expect that. But again, I didn't know what to expect at all. So because I didn't know what to expect, I didn't know what I was going into. I kind of just started reading and I had like no idea what the thriller element was or like what the main plot was. I knew nothing because I've seen it nowhere. But by the end, I loved it. Maybe like halfway through, I was absolutely hooked. Could not put it down. I absolutely loved it. It is very fast-paced. I will give this book that. But the beginning was just setting up things that I didn't know how to feel about because I didn't know what was gonna happen. Since I didn't know the premise, usually I don't read synopsis, but I will usually know like the premise just from other people talking about it. Like I'll know little bits of it, but this one I knew nothing. So I was kind of bored in the beginning only because I was just like, okay, get to it. Like I want to know what we're trying to figure out, but I didn't know. So it's fine, but I ended up loving it, so that's the main thing. Okay, so number 6 is tell us your favorite or least favorite tropes. So I'll start with my favorite tropes. I think some of my favorite tropes is definitely fake dating. I have found such a great love for fake dating. I just love when like the fake dating, like, and then you can start to see like their walls going down and they start to have like a better connection and then they fall in love, and it's great because they're like, oh, like we weren't there yet. But also with fake dating, that goes hand in hand with enemies to lovers. I don't mind if it's like friends to lovers, or I definitely prefer enemies to lovers over friends to lovers. Enemies to lovers is just same thing as like fake dating. Usually in fake dating, like, you know, they don't really like each other or they're doing it for like a reason, like they both get something out of it. And then enemies to lovers, like I feel like enemies to lovers has the best banter. Like they have the best relationship because they're like, they make fun of each other. Like, they don't like each other. They just throw shade at each other all the time. And then eventually they're like, wait a minute. When did it stop becoming making fun of you and started coming into flirting? And you're just like, I love it. I feel like enemies to lovers usually has like the best banter, and that's my favorite. Another trope, I'm not sure if it's really a trope, but something else I really love is an unreliable narrator in my thrillers. I feel like that just makes it much more thrilling, not really knowing what to believe, whether the narrator is like seeing things correctly or telling you the story how it actually happened. I find that just so much more thrilling when you actually don't know. So I guess now my least favorite trope, we will double it back to the first question. Eavesdropping with miscommunication. Miscommunication is probably my least favorite trope ever. I feel like miscommunication is usually put there to get like the plot going along, and I don't like it. Because I feel like, you know, you're an adult, like just talk to them. But instead, if there's like a miscommunication thing, there's usually just like a grudge being held and someone's mad and there's no communication, and then things like get crazy, and then like a few chapters later or like at the end of the book, they're like, oh, well, you said this to so and so, and they're like, oh no, you completely misunderstood, like that's not what I meant. And then basically like from point A to B was completely useless and unnecessary because there was just miscommunication. Oh gosh, I don't like that trope at all. And then another trope I don't like is accidental or pregnancy for convenience. I love a good epilogue where, you know, like it shows them years later. I love that. But if there's like a pregnancy in like the middle of the book to help the characters like, you know, become friends again or like start talking again, I don't like that. I don't like it when it's like a convenient pregnancy, like, oh, we're about to fall apart. Oh my gosh, I found out I'm pregnant. Like, then they're like, oh, well, now we need to talk it out. Now we need to talk about our issues. Like, just be an adult and talk about it without a baby. But yeah, so that's one of my least favorite tropes ever. So those were the quick little 6 questions in the Nope Trope book tag. Like I said, the original creators video will be linked down below. I'm not going to tag anyone, honestly. I'm not sure who would be down to do something like this, but if you're watching this, then I tag you, please. I love to know people's opinions on tropes, and I would love to know lots of answers to the questions asked, so definitely do it, please. If you have not done it before and it's something that would interest you, I definitely tag you to do it. But that's all from me. You can like, comment, and subscribe down below if you would like. All of my socials to find me anywhere else, and anything I mentioned in this video will be in the description down below. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!